All right, so what I'm going to talk about is the kinds of chemical reactions. Okay? And there are 4 basic reactions that you need to learn. That is an awesome 4. I agree. What I want you to focus on is a pattern, because each type of reaction is going to have a pattern. So for you visual learners, you should be able to recognize the pattern. So for example, the first type we call a combination. It is also known as a synthesis. Or even a composition reaction. And this reaction always has the form of element A plus element B yields compound AB. So the pattern is always going to be an element plus an element gives you a compound. Any questions? Okay. Element plus element gives you a compound combination synthesis. The next one, number 2 that we want to talk about, is what we call a decomposition. So this sounds like what word? Decompose, which means what? Things are breaking down. And that's exactly what's happening here. In this case, you have a compound, and that compound breaks down to give you an element plus another element. But the bigger pattern is something like compound breaks down to give you element plus element. So we've got one thing here, and then we've got multiple things on this side. Remember that with the synthesis, which is basically the opposite direction, do you notice that? Synthesis goes back this way, doesn't it? That's our synthesis. Ooh, that is spooky. Ooh. It's synthesis. There you go. S-I-N. S-Y. I'm kidding. No, JK. Hashtag JK fail. Our next type of reaction is what's called well, there's 2 types. They are both They are both replacement reactions. Well, actually, you're kind of right on the mark, Ashlyn. The replacement reaction, we have 2 kinds. We have single and double. And all it means is exactly what it says. In a single replacement, we're replacing one thing. Perfect. Say that louder so everybody can hear you. Come on, say it louder. So a double says what?
That it forgot.
Go ahead.
That it. Shut up, Stephen. That it replaces 2 things.
There you go. So we're replacing 2 instead of 1. So let's look at a single replacement reaction first. A single replacement reaction looks like this. I've got a compound plus an element, and then I switch one of the elements.
AC plus B.
Perfect, Ashlyn. AC plus B. Ashlyn is rocking the single replacement. So again, we've got a compound and we add an element, and we end up with the same thing. It's just the element that was here gets moved to this compound. That's the only difference. And then our last reaction is going to be the double replacement. And in the double replacement, we're going to start with two compounds. This is the double replacement. So we start with two compounds. And then what's going to happen here is that you're going to have two of these elements switch places. So that what we end up with is going to be and again we had this one was originally in the first compound and this one was originally in the second compound. And now you can't see anything and it looks like
Look at Steven.
any questions? So, questions? Do we have questions?
Can you draw that face?